the game? Was that just displeased with the energy, or?
Yeah, we just weren't good. So I just wanted to find players that were good.
And then I saw some conversation between you and Kali in the third. I know you guys have a very open dialogue between the two of you. What was that moment about when she came out of the game and headed to the end of the bench?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
Any more in person?
Hey, Coach. It seemed like some turnovers and free throws early on kind of sunk you guys a little bit.
Mhm.
Second quarter, though, you guys went on a 12-2 run.
Yeah.
What changed there?
We decided we wanted to play. So that was it. I think they had a little pride about themselves in the second quarter. And, we decided that we wanted to sit down in the stands and take care of the ball.
Robin Parks tonight just couldn't find minutes for her.
No, she just wasn't part of the rotation.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
How do you prevent the team from getting too down 4 games into this streak and prevent them from maybe turning on each other in this moment? Is that a concern of yours?
Turning on each other?
Yeah, is that a
We
concern?
don't do that in Chicago. We never have.
Okay.
We've lost 7 straight and we won a championship in the same year. We don't turn on each other in Chicago. So that's out of the question.
I'm sorry for if that question bothered you,
Turning on
but it's
each
just
other?
a new group.
But turning on each other?
Well,
Why would that even be in the equation?
I mean, sometimes that happens.
That's
That
never happened
happens,
in Chicago.
and that's totally fair. I appreciate
I've
that
never seen it
explanation.
happen. I've never been a part of a team where players turn on each
And
other.
that's
So I don't
that's totally legit. You're right, but I just
that's not. Yeah, sorry. But,
no, it's okay.
We'll go to Zoom. Carly Bell, please.
Hey, Coach. Morgan Bertsch's first game back,
Yeah.
leading scorer. I mean, what did you just think of her performance? Even on a minutes restriction, putting up the points that she was able to put up.
She was okay. She still needs to get some rhythm though.
And then my follow-up, Courtney Williams has kind of been in a little bit of an offensive slump recently. She had some early hot fourth quarters to start the season. She's gone kind of quiet. How do you jumpstart her offensively over the next coming games?
We just got to make sure she can get to her spots a little easier. I think it'll come around though. It'll come around. Water always rises, so I think it won't be too long before you see her have a good offensive game.
Thank you.
Steven, please unmute.
Hey, Coach, can you kind of give us a little bit of insight as to what you saw from Taylor in the minutes that she reported today?
Just saw the energy, man. Like when we started the game, we were a little flat, and she picked us up by getting, offensive rebounds and, just getting downhill and attacking their defense, getting to the line. And that's what we needed. In order to beat a good team like that, you need, that type of energy. So, wish that group wouldn't have fouled as much, but we like the energy.
And then my quick follow-up for you is, of course, Alanna has been dealing with a lot of foul issues. That's a whole different topic, but can you speak to just her fortitude with still sticking to it in the minutes she's playing and making things happen, especially on the glass today?
Yeah, I like that. She's just staying strong, man. She's a persistent individual, and we like that she's continuing to battle through some stuff.
All right. Thank you. Any more?
Yeah, how do you reset the energy? Maybe that is a better question.
We'll figure it out.
Previous.
We'll figure it out.
3-point shooting, Coach. Obviously, your team's usually really good at it today, around 30-ish%. Is it something that the Mystics guards were doing to restrict you guys, or just an off-night shooting?
I think it was just an off night. Maybe we probably have to see the extra pass probably one more time to get we got good shots, but to get even better shots.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Safe travels.
All right.
What's the biggest difference you guys notice in games where, again, you just come out and the energy is not right? Is it the way the day is starting? Like, what can you pinpoint something that's contributing to it?
I would probably say that we're not playing defense the way that we want to at the start of games. Like, our prep has been pretty similar for games where we've won and games that we've lost. Like, we do, I think every team does pretty much the same thing for games. And I don't know what everyone does personally. Like, I don't know. Like, I know I do the same thing every game, but I think it's just about focusing in on, for us, defense to start off. Like, offense will come, and I think that defense is something that you can control more so than the offensive stuff. So yeah, I just really think that we need to focus more on that stuff.
And then I know this is a new group and you guys have talked continuously about continuing to get to know each other better and finding that cohesion. When you're in a slump like this, how much work goes into ensuring that, you know, there isn't a divide that's created, that you guys stay connected, you stay glued together?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was definitely something we talked about after the game, of just making sure that through this little slump that we're having, you know, this 4-game skid, that we are still staying together and making sure that we're keeping a positive mindset, recognizing there's things that we need to work on and things we can get better at. But yeah, just keeping, you know, a positive mindset, making sure we're watching all the film that we can watch and learning from our mistakes moving forward. And like I said, just kind of staying together through it all.
And then there was a moment post-game, which maybe I haven't seen continue to happen, but I wondered if this was the first time before you guys walked off the court, like Courtney brought, you guys stopped there for a minute to talk as a collective, just the players. Do you guys do that every game? Was this different? And what was the message in that huddle?
Yeah, I think every team does that first game. They will get together afterwards. I don't think that's a new thing. But I don't know, we just recognize that, hey, like, obviously that's not how we want to play and we don't like losing games, but like Morgan said, we have to stay together, and like, we're a new team learning to win together, and we're also a new team learning to lose together, and that comes with different things, different responsibilities, holding certain people accountable, and you know, I just think at the end of the day, it's us that we have to focus on, and us alone.
And then to start the game, James, you know, shifted the group on the court pretty quickly. Morgan, you got in, Dana, and then Taylor. Alanna, what about that group maybe like worked a little bit better to start the game? Like, what why was that necessary, and how did you like the response?
Our starting group just wasn't doing it. Like, we weren't starting like we wanted to, and so luckily for us, we have a bench that can pick us up. And so I think James made the right call. Like, if you're not going to do it, someone else will. And yeah, I think the bench came in and did a good job. Like, they came in and they had a lot of energy. They had impact on the ball. And it also motivates the starting group too. Like, hey, you can't be doing that shit. Like, you can't start games off like that. Otherwise you're sitting. Like, that's just how it is in the game of basketball. And so I think kind of kicks us into gear as well, having that second group push us to be better.
And then, okay, cool. Sorry. How do you guys snap this? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it both? Like, how do you guys get out of this?
Well, I mean, I know we have a couple of practices this week before our next game, so I think it's just going to be coming to those practices with the right mindset. This is a good opportunity. You don't always get opportunities throughout this season and how fast games come to have a couple of practices in a row. So I think it's really important that we attack these practices with the right mindset of improving, because, you know, we have a new group, but we have, you know, people coming back, and just being able to fit back together, finding that groove that we had kind of at the start. So yeah, I mean, we have a good opportunity right now to have a couple practices in a row to get our confidence, to get a good flow going coming into the next game.
Carly Bell, please unmute. One question and a follow-up.
Morgan, how did you feel today first came back? I know you had the minutes restriction. I mean, you were the leading scorer, but how did you just feel today being back?
It was really good to be back. I mean, it's felt like a really long time, even though I think it's only been like 3 weeks, but the games come quick. So yeah, it was nice to get out. I mean, I just kind of approached it, I don't know, just to see where I was at and to try and get comfortable and to, provide some kind of energy coming off the bench. So I felt pretty good, got into a decent rhythm, but I definitely noticed some things that I need to improve on as an individual. But I think that will only come with time, and getting back into a rhythm individually.
And then just to follow up for Alanna, you said that it was the slow starts have come from defense. Would you say it's more defensive intensity? Is it mentality? Could you get a little bit more specific as to what you guys are lacking defensively to open up games that's causing offensive stalling?
I think in particular this game, like our fouling just really took us out of rhythm. Like in the first quarter, I think I remember the coaches saying that we gave them 17 free throws, which is unacceptable for a first quarter. And then for the game, they had a stupid amount of free throws as well. So I think it's just like discipline in not fouling. And, I'm the first to say that I have a problem with that.
Don't we all? It's all right.
Not fouling, but just like defensive focus. Like our intensity, I feel like is there, but it's focus. And like when you're really, really focused on the defensive end, like that kind of pushes over to the offensive end as well. And then you're not making mistakes on the offensive end. You're not turning the ball over because you're in that zone of like, this is what I have to do. This is what I've been told to do. I'm following instructions. And then you're doing it on both ends of the floor rather than just one.
Lastly, we'll go to Steven. Last one.
What's going on, ladies? This is a question for kind of both of you two. I would like to hear from each one of you. Kind of in the preseason, looking at you two's play independent of each other. You guys have a lot of similarities. And today, we kind of saw both of you two sharing the front court as a tandem. Can you just kind of speak to how it was to share the floor with somebody that plays like almost like a twin to the other, and maybe what positives and negatives you may have seen from it?
I think that it's special being able to have two people who can kind of spread the floor the way that we do. It'll make it easier. It does make it easier for our drivers because, you have to guard us on the perimeter. So, if you can't provide that help defense, or if you do provide that help defense, our guards are getting really good at finding us on the perimeter. So I think it's just a special duo to have both of us out there just to provide that spacing on the floor.
Yeah, I think also with like knowing how someone plays, or when it's similar to how you play, you don't really have to think about like moving off of the other person because you basically know what they're going to do anyway. Like I know when Morgan's going to pop, like I know when Morgan's going to roll. And it just gives you a little bit more confidence on like making decisive movements. Like you're not kind of in that in between, like, oh, I don't know what she's going to do next. Like, you know what she's going to do because you have the same mindset. So it just makes it easier for flow as well. And I think, we open the floor up a lot because we have more of that outside presence too.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Sister.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.